Hey, it's Christmas time. Christmas time. What does that mean? Stuff, material, merchandise, secularized. Everything that Christmas is all about, supposed to be all about. It's a dim rumor at best. You got articles like these all over the place. How to get over your hangover, how to lose weight, after you get over it, how to build a bar in your basement. The message of Christmas, Christ is in Christmas, right? Do you remember Bill O'Reilly? We talked about this earlier in the show. He talked about the war on Christmas. It looks like the secular left may have won that war, at least as far as our culture goes. I'd like to bring in our panel, Eric Metaxas, host of the Eric Metaxas radio show. He is the author of Is Atheism Dead? And Mark Simone from iHeartRadio, the great talk show host, of course. Eric, every year we have this conversation, it seems, but I really do think that O'Reilly was, it might have been a ratings trick at first, but he was onto something. He was ahead of his time, and I believe the war, at least culturally, has been fought and almost won by the left.
Okay, I'm going to throw you a curveball. I know you can handle it. I like you. You're smart. You ready? The war on Christmas has been fought and lost by the religious Christians, the people who go to church. If they really celebrated Christmas, if they really, really believed the insane idea that God sent his son to this world, et cetera, et cetera. So if they really believed that and lived it out, it would be no contest. People who say they're Christians, what they really mean is, I'm not a Jew, I'm not an atheist, I'm not a Muslim, I guess I'm a Christian. They really act in a secular way. And so it's up to us who claim to believe this to decide, do I really believe this? Did it really happen? If it did happen, if this is true, if this story is more than a fairy tale, it is the most amazing story in the history of the world. Some people have called it the greatest story ever told. If people who call themselves Christians, I'm not talking about Gentiles, I'm talking about Christians, actually believed this and lived it out as though it were true, because it is, it would be a totally different ballgame. It's easy for us to attack the left. The left doesn't really have to do anything except, it's kind of like Lucy with the football. You don't have to kick the football. You can't blame Lucy.
What you say makes a lot of sense. And I am rather new on my faith journey. And as someone, I don't want to say newly converted, but newly alive in my faith, I am surprised that more people are not talking about the peace, the serenity, everlasting life that is available through Christ. Now, Mark, I don't know if you were expecting this kind of a conversation, but I do think, though, there is, and Eric, I would like you to weigh in on this, there is this feeling, well, we don't want to offend anybody. We believe, but we don't want to offend anybody. Now, I know Mark is very comfortable offending anybody, so Mark, please weigh in.
Of course, there's a war on Christmas. I see people with signs, all holidays matter, fighting this war on Christmas. And it seems every year the war on Christmas starts earlier and earlier. Hey, and by the way, all you people, could you start a war on Thanksgiving, too? I'm not crazy about Thanksgiving, not my favorite holiday. But the left will always argue that it doesn't exist, it's not real, it's ginned up. But try to put a Christmas tree on a municipal building and see what happens. Try to put a wreath up, and you'll see what happens. It does exist. There's a war on everything nowadays from the left. There's a war on the police department. There's a war on jails. There's a war on every word you want to say. There's a war on normalcy. That's where the war is.
Mark, I think you are correct. There is a war. There is the left. Yes, they waged a campaign, but Eric, I think I agree with you. Too much of we kind of just surrendered, right?
Of course, I agree with Mark. There's no question. But the point is, whether you're a conservative, a patriot, a Christian, I don't care. If we don't fight back, if we don't push back, I had a neighbor ask me one day. He put up a wreath on his door in New York City, and he asked me, I'm not joking, is this okay with you? Does this maybe offend you? I wanted to punch him. I said, are you joking? He wasn't joking. It is people like that who are so worried about offending anybody that they have themselves become, everything is meaningless. If you believe this is a great country, If you believe we should celebrate Columbus Day, Thanksgiving, all these things, celebrate it with everything you have. Celebrate it unapologetically. Or I'm gonna put it on people. I'm gonna say you don't believe it. You yourself don't believe this is a great country, even though people died so we could have freedom. You don't believe the Bible is true, that God is true. Otherwise, you wouldn't be so timid. Your timidity betrays your fear, your lack of beliefs. We have to figure out, do we believe these things? And if you believe it, you better live like you do. And then you're not going to worry what people think. You're going to know you're doing them a favor because you're telling them the truth. And they didn't know it yet.
I love it, Eric. I love it. Mark, final thoughts?
You know, the Puritans, that was the last time we saw anything like this, where they were offended by every little thing. Believe it or not, I think it was in the 1650s. They banned the celebration of Christmas for a while. I mean, so you're going back to this ridiculous puritanical nonsense.
Eric Metaxas, we appreciate it. Mark Simone, of course, we appreciate it. To be continued, gentlemen. Oh, check out Mark on iHeartRadio, of course. And Eric's book is Atheism Dead. It came out just about 6 weeks ago, available wherever books are sold. We'll be right back.